Well, Mark, to point the piece, finishes 2-2 here against Cheltenham Town. Just give us your verdict.
Yeah, I thought it was a good game. Entertaining game. We had a real good go. We've had a lot of chances in the game. I think we were the more likely to win the game. One right at the end as well. And there's parts of it we're really pleased with, parts of it we're disappointed with. Overall, I think we're the lads disappointed, frustrated with what we conceded, and also the fact that we haven't taken 3 points from the game, because it's probably a bit of an opportunity missed for us. That I'm really pleased that we've kept a little run going, which I think is real key. And what we haven't done enough this year is, if we couldn't win, we got beat too often. So I'm just pleased that we've kept the total going and got another result from it. And there were times tonight where we looked really good. So it's promising going into a busy spell where more and more players are coming back. So yeah, I enjoyed the game. I thought it was quite eventful. I thought we could have won it, but I'm really happy we didn't lose it.
George actually came off the bench and had a instant impact, and sometimes sit in with Bradley Dack. Had that hit the back of the net, I think Priestfield would have erupted. But more positive tonight for you than negatives?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think I didn't like the build up to their first goal. I thought we were passive in lots of our defensive moments, and then he's just hit a worldie of a free kick. So you just have to accept that, but I can't accept the bits that led to it. And then I hated how we started the second half. I thought we lacked intensity. I thought the second goal we let in is absolute toilet, and we don't normally let in goals like that. So that's really disappointing in terms of our connection, in terms of our intensity to land on a ball, in terms of our recovery speed, in terms of affecting players in and around the goal mouth. We've left a centre forward a free header in the box. Like, you just can't do that. But what we've done a couple of times recently when we have conceded is we've responded well, and I liked how we responded, and we obviously changed quite a few things and quite a few times within the second half, and looked threatening. I like the atmosphere in the stadium. I like the team were really driven. You could just see the body language of a team chasing, wanting to try and nick the win, and there were times where we may have deserved that as well. But the moment at the end, how he hits the crossbar, it's a brilliant effort, and it doesn't quite go where we want it to. It just falls right into the goalie's hands. There's probably a couple of those moments tonight, even in the first half, where we've got good numbers in the box and it don't quite bounce where we want it to. But our two goals were really good ones. Nev's part in both goals was exceptional, and Hutt's in the second one, his ball down the side, Nev's cut back, George Lapsley's a brilliant finish, and the first one as well, Jaden again, like off of a Nev strike from a good ball carry where he's made good distance up with the game. So yeah, I was really pleased with lots of parts of it, and as always there's loads of little things tomorrow we'll talk about and show, because for all the good stuff, there's a handful of moments why we don't win, and they're the bits we have to really focus on. But we also have to just keep the good vibe and the good energy going from another decent performance and an okay result.
Ben?
Mark, obviously people will say Cheltenham Town at home are the sort of games you obviously want to win, but they came here on good form and they showed that they can pose a threat in a number of ways. So, you know, to take something off them, not the worst result?
No, I think they're in really good form, firstly. Secondly, in one sense, we just have to get away from this idea of thinking we're good, because we haven't shown enough that we are. And loads of teams that everyone said that about, we've lost to here. So, like, we're not that good. So everyone just needs to realise who we are and where we are, and we're probably not as good as everyone thinks we are and hopes we are, but we've got to become it, and the way you become it is by grinding out results, and we were more than that tonight. Actually, we had some really good moments, but there's no evidence to suggest we're too good and we just got to beat these teams. There is no evidence to suggest it, so therefore it can't be true. It's only true when we do it and it becomes a consistent habit. So yeah, we have to make sure internally we stop talking about being a good team and just start being one consistently, and that was another good level from us at times tonight. We didn't quite find enough to get the winning goal, but we had enough chances, and we were a threatening team, and we played with a real good purpose. Statistically a dominant team in the game, but it looked and felt like that for quite a bit as well, and I think the reaction of the players is really frustrated because they feel like they should have won, and the atmosphere in the ground as the players are leaving the pitch is sung off the pitch for a 2-2 draw because they saw a team that had a right go to try and win. So I think in the end you say there's more good and bad in that, and yeah, it just stacks up another game for us, and we have to stack runs of unbeaten results together. So no disaster. Opportunity missed to win because we were good enough to. Opportunity missed to put a few under pressure tomorrow, but it doesn't really matter in the whole scheme of things. It would have been nice to win it, but we'll have to go and win one of the tough away games we've got coming instead.
You mentioned the free kick, which was, obviously unfortunate in the sense that it goes in off the inside of the post, but also the timing of it as well. I think up until that point you had 60% possession. You looked like you were controlling the game. You obviously got the first goal. If you'd have got the second, it feels like you might have, gone on.
Yeah, I think so. And we had a few moments without having enough quality. I thought there was a couple of times in the first half where we became a crossing team too much against defenders that were ready and set for us. And any time we played and run off it and played with less touches and a bit more invention around the box, we looked a real threat. So it actually looked like we were in the ascendancy in terms of being the team that might get the next goal. But I can't remember loads of clear-cut chances in that period, even though it felt like we were in control. And that's where we've got to be a more ruthless team to go and chase the second goal without giving the whole game away and opening the pitch up. And then what you can't do in any of those situations is do that in a little bit of a disjointed way. And we probably did a couple of times. And at all times when you play a team like them who are very direct in certain moments, very aggressive and very good pressure to the ball, you can't be loose against them. And they've got some really good attacking threats, and we've spoke all week about don't allow the wide player to come inside, and he did twice in that build up to the goal, and we've just dangled legs rather than defended intently and properly. So they're the moments where we have to be better to stop that coming about. And then it's an absolute worldie at the end. You have to just sort of laugh because you think, blimey, that is unbelievable how that's ended up in there. And almost the same where I laugh at the end where you think, oh my God, Daki, how's that not gone in, or how's it just bounced back into the goalie's hands? They're praising God in those moments for those situations. But yeah, it is what it is. We take plenty from it tonight, and hopefully allows us to stay positive going into the next game.
Yeah, I was fearing a little bit, sort of deja vu when you're 1-0 up and then went 2-1 down, but the fact that you have managed to come back and as you described, the second goal was a really lovely goal, and then almost to nick it at the end, obviously frustrating, but to see that the team respond must have been nice.
Yeah, I think a couple of weeks ago was the first time we'd equalised in the game this season. So to do that again today is another sort of box ticked. You don't actually want to tick those boxes, but if the situation occurs, you have to. So we did. So we're pleased with that. The second goal was good when we were a bit more direct, when we had the fighting moments in the midfield, and we won a few. Ethan calms the game down, gives it to Huts. Huts really calm, plays an excellent ball in behind, which was something that we needed more of, because it plays into Nev's strengths massively, and he chases down into the corner and finds the cutback brilliantly. Jaden's arriving, but Lapo arrives. It's a great finish, so really good. And then we had that little point in the second half of what changes do we make to chase, and we brought Daki on. We were going to bring Ewan on at the time as well to try and get more control, but we scored, so we just made the one change. And then as it went on, we were, let's chase a win, let's try and get a front two, but we didn't want to go 4-4-2 because they had a lot of athletic players on the pitch and we didn't want to open the pitch up too much. So we changed the shape to a back three with a front two, which would hopefully make sure that we had a good chance of chasing it, which we did, and we had some good moments with Lapo running and Daki playing a bit deeper to try and serve forward passes, but gave ourselves a security that we made sure we didn't lose the game as well. It was one of them today that we had to take something from it and haven't got ourselves back in it. And in the end, yeah, we are a bit frustrated, but overall I think there was a fair few things to like about it.
So you mentioned difficult away games coming up. Colchester then on Boxing Day. A little bit of a Kent against Essex sort of rivalry in that one.
Is that nice?
It should be good travelling numbers, and Boxing Day football always has a good feel about it. Yeah,
it does, and hopefully we can go into that in good form. They are as well. They've had a decent point away at Crewe tonight, so they'll be pleased with that. Always tough games. Actually, they should be better off in the league than they are. A lot of their games have been close, or they've narrowly lost earlier in the season where they were the dominant team. So I think it'll be a tough game, but I think it'll be a game that's, like you say, Boxing Day can be interesting. It can throw up some strange results as well. So we want to try and make sure that we keep the momentum going that we're building at the moment. That's going to be really key for us. And also just that, you do get good crowds coming on Boxing Day, and you want to make sure you're putting a good show for those as well. But what tonight does is we go into Christmas with a little bit of a better feeling about ourselves and our team than we perhaps did a couple of weeks ago. So I was really grateful to the numbers that turned out tonight, because this Friday night before Christmas is not an easy one for some people to get to. But I like the atmosphere, I like the support they give the team, and I hope everyone can enjoy their weekend and enjoy the next few days. And those that we see at Colchester, hopefully we can go and give another good account of ourselves.
And just finally from me, 20 games gone, 30 points on the board. How do you kind of assess that? Is that okay?
It's okay, but we're not trying to be okay. It's below where we want to be, really. We obviously set off like a train, and then had a really, let's call it sticky spell. There's plenty of adjectives you could use there, but I'll use that one for now. But we've recovered and we've got ourselves into another little turnaround. Tonight's probably a couple of points shy of where we want to be, because we could have got back in there, and if we'd have gone into Christmas in the top 6, having had the run that we had, we'd have gone, that's not so bad. But what it will do is it will keep everybody really hungry and really focused that the team we want to be, we're not yet. And there's a lot of teams better off than us, so we have to prove ourselves over the next few weeks that we can be one of those, and I like that, because we'll see the edge continue in the players, which is really important.
How good would it have been for Daki if that effort would have just crept under the bar?
Yeah, he was fuming at the end. To be fair, he's trained really well. His character's very good, and he's obviously a really talented player. So he's making everyone better around him, and that's why we just have to hope we can keep getting him out there and keep building him up, because he'll be a big player for us. But he's got lots of qualities that will serve us really well if we can keep him out there. So it would have been nice, but not to be. Again, you'll have to wait for that moment, but I'm sure it'll come soon.
He's making forward progress, which seems like good. He got more minutes, didn't he?
Yeah, there's a few probably in that bracket that are just going to keep benefiting at the moment from so long out, and one or two struggle in the first few games when they're coming back. But I think Aaron Rose grinding himself for a few games, and he probably struggled more tonight than he did last week. But that's sometimes what happens, and he's just got to keep getting through those minutes now to build up. We saw it in Ethan when he was trying to catch up all the time, but he's playing brilliantly now. Robbie McKenzie's had periods out, but he's a machine. There's lots of them that are getting themselves up to speed and so on, and hopefully Daki can be the same. Even Elliot Nevitt as well, his work ethic's great. He's assisted 2 goals tonight. It's big for us, and the moment will come soon where he actually gets one himself, because he's excellent. So can't wait for that, and that'll be a weight off his shoulders. But he's plugging away nicely, and with Daki, yeah, no real plan. We get led by his body really as to what we do. We won't get greedy, we need to be sensible with a really busy spell. I just said to the boys there that we haven't got time for people being disappointed about not playing, not being involved, being taken off the pitch, because when everyone's fit we've got a lot of good players to choose from, and I absolutely respect the fact that they're all desperate to play and contribute, but as long as that is fuel for them to deliver for the team, I have no problem with that, and hopefully we can keep getting the benefit of everyone in the next few weeks.
Because you talk about a squad game, haven't you, and George Lapsley comes in from not being in the squad, comes off the bench, gets us an equaliser.
Yeah, there's been a few stories like that, I think, and if you go over the whole season, players that one week have started and then been out the 18, or vice versa, or unused sub and then played. He's a great example. He trains really hard, he's a good pro, he's took his goal again really well today. Hutz hasn't played the last couple, he's obviously come on and then he starts tonight. Webby was playing, starting to, and then he's out the squad. Like, that is going to be the story a little bit at Christmas, I think, because we've got so many to pick from. And hopefully, if I make a few good decisions and those players that get their opportunity take them, that will serve us well.
And lastly, goal number 7, I think, Jaden Clark. A word on him?
Yeah, I guess the same. You're not speaking to him today, are you?
No.
Oh, good. Everyone's getting bored of that. So he's done well. He's scored a good goal. I thought he had some good moments, good involvement in the second goal in terms of being a real threat, and he came alive in that. He was probably up and down in the game a little bit today. Didn't have as much intensity against the ball that he has done in certain moments. But I'm picky with him. I want to just keep pushing him. He's definitely capable of being a double figures goal scorer, and he's obviously close to that now. So we'll push him to try and get there, and then we'll push him to go beyond it if we can, because he's been an important player for us, and hopefully we can keep adding in those areas of the squad and keep pushing him to keep him hungry, because there's still actually quite a lot to come from him, I think.